This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video for you. So in a moment, we're going to be discussing how to feel good in turbulent times. Yes, this is an asexual life vlog. First of all, if you didn't know who I am Sandra Burmy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories book. Don't forget to grab a copy on Amazon if you haven't already. Got a beautiful glossy cover. And also, I'm the author of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, also available on Amazon. So yes, how to stay good, how to feel good in turbulent times. So if you've been watching, reading my posts, if you don't know where the posts are, there's a community tab now, and that's where my posts go. So I try to post quite regularly on there. It's a bit like a Facebook news feed where people post stuff, but it's on YouTube instead. So I like to keep you up to date with what's happening in between my videos. And you might have noticed I re-broke my ankle back last Saturday, so over a week ago now. But I wasn't actually diagnosed till a week today because I was diagnosed on the Sunday. And last weekend I was diagnosed with a sprained ankle. Although I knew that my ankle wasn't sprained, it was in fact broken because I couldn't put any weight on it. I twisted it over twice in an accident, and I knew that it re-broke the same bone that I broke last year. That's what I believed had happened. But I was treated really, really badly by the hospital, and it was really a nightmare. And so that was not good, right? And so really appallingly, she wouldn't give me crutches, took away the wheelchair, insisted it was a sprain when I thought otherwise. And then on Monday, I get a call from a doctor who gave me another opinion, saying that they've looked at it with a consultant, and I have got a broken bone again, a fracture, but this time it's wider, it's bigger. So actually, that's why I was in more pain and could put weight on it, right? So this is cutting the story very, very short. The way I was treated in there was absolutely disgusting. But it meant I was hopping along the corridor with no crutches, no support, back out to A&E, no wheelchair. And the woman was basically completely misdiagnosed me, and I was right in the end. But she wouldn't give me anything. She was just shouting at me down the corridor. So it was disgusting. So I'm trying to get justice for that now. I'm pursuing seeing what justice I can get. And what I wanted to tell you is why I'm feeling so good still at the moment. Like all of a sudden, I'm just feeling really, really, really good about my life, about myself, about everything that's, just going on. For some miraculous reason, I've been able to put my foot to the floor now, and I couldn't in the hospital. I mean, obviously, I've been putting loads and loads of ice on it. So when it's really iced up, I can put it to the floor. There are little moments where even my crutches, I'm not actually got my crutches in my hand and I'm shuffling forward. Most of my weight's on my right, but still it's progress. And I'm trying to do as much for myself as possible. My friend came to do my food shopping for me, so that was really helpful. But I'm still managing to do lots of stuff for myself. Considering, but I'm having to have lots of rest as well because I really have to have the foot elevated and iced a lot of time. But I'm just feeling really good, and all of a sudden I'm feeling exceptionally good. And I'm thinking, why are you feeling so good when you've just broken your ankle, Sandra? And one is because I was right at the hospital. I trusted my own judgment more than I trusted what the woman said, who's a medical practitioner apparently. And I told her, I said she wouldn't give me crutches because she said it's just a sprain. I said I don't believe it's not a break. Because I asked her numerous times. She was adamant it was a sprain, and and I wasn't convinced. And she got angry with me at the look on her face when she pressed where it hurt, and I called out in pain. It was all awful. And I was hopping down the corridor trying to get back to A&E, nearly falling over again. All she's doing is shouting at me, "Oh, you didn't even try to put weight on it." When she's trying to force me to put weight on it, I told her I couldn't, And if you've broken your ankle, if it's not a sprain, you can't put weight on it. But she seemed hell-bent on trying to prove that it was a sprain when I knew it wasn't. And obviously I had the confirmation from the doctor, but I've seen the x-rays now, so I've got the x-rays to prove it's definitely a fracture. It's a different, it's like a fracture of the same bone, but it's gone in a diagonal direction instead. So it's gone into the same bone, then gone off in a different direction. More, So that's how it gone wider, so you can see it's different. So she was completely wrong, and I'm so glad that I stuck up for myself. I mean, it wasn't funny, but I mean, the only thing you can say is I was literally going like Spider-Man down the corridor, clinging to a wall. I mean, literally a wall. We're talking about a smooth wall here. We're not talking about walls that got sticking out bits, you know what I mean? And I had a bag in my arm, I was nearly falling over. It was horrible. But you know, I don't know many people that go like Spider-Man down the wall, you know. But I'm happy because I was courageous. I stuck up for myself. This year I'm all about trusting myself 100%, my intuition, believing in myself. And this is how come I'm feeling so good in turbulent times, and how you can too, is to just trust your intuition, believe in yourself, stick up for yourself. This is really, really important. Really important. I started doing this last year, particularly more and more, because, you know, if you think about it, how many of your friends do you actually stick up for? How often do you defend other people? But when it comes to yourself, do you defend yourself? Do you actually stick up for yourself? Or do you just like think I'm not worth it and stuff like this, and oh, I couldn't possibly make a fuss about me? Because if you're thinking that way, it's wrong, right? You need to treat yourself like you would a best friend, like you would any friend. And if you stick up for your friends, which hopefully you do sometimes, you know, then you should be treating yourself as your own best friend. I mean, when I was at school, I remember I used to stick up for some people who probably didn't deserve me sticking up for them, because they weren't always honest people. But I didn't believe in people being bullied, and I would stick up for people like that, you know, even though I was bullied myself. I stuck up more for other people being bullied than for myself, really. I found it easier to do that. But now I'm changing. I'm realizing that no, Sandra, you stick up for your damn self, right? You be strong. You be the queen of your kingdom, the king of your castle, and you stick up for yourself, you know. And so I strongly urge you that, you know, one of the ways to stay happy and good and positive in turbulent times is to literally stick up for yourself and be your own best friend, and believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and trust your intuition and instincts more than anything. Right? You've got to trust yourself more than anything in the world, because at the end of the day, you spend 365 days a year with yourself. You know, you are should be at one with yourself. You should be your own best friend. And it's very important that you do follow your own life path as well. And that's another thing I want to come on to. Since the 16th of December last year, I totally committed to following and pursuing and building my book publishing business. And now I've done that, everything's completely shifted and changed for me, because it's what I've always been born to do. I've been born to write books that change lives, but before I was thinking more in terms that I'm an author and a writer, rather than I own a book publishing company, which I do, by the way. Quirky Books is my imprint. And rather than about being a promoter and a marketer and a business owner in the sense of my own publishing company. So I've had a distinct mindset shift, but now I just believe in myself. I don't go around pursuing other things for the sake of it anymore. I literally pursue everything I can that's in my interest for book publishing, learning more about what type of books selling on KDP, learning more about, you know, what other people are doing. But if anything, it's just solidifying the fact that I'm doing really well. Like, I might not be making a ton of sales at the moment, but I actually have the right success formula, and I'm actually on the right path. It's just a case of like, I need to write more books, and I need to, you know, I do need to write some shorter books as well, because my books are really long, some of them. Like the current one I'm working on, like obviously this is Asexual Perspectives, this is about 541 pages. My current book's nearly 600. My Asexual Guide to Sex, I'm still finishing it off, but I think it's imperative with Asexual Guide to Sex that it is a big book, because I want it to be the most comprehensive guide about asexual guide to sex, you know, most comprehensive guide for asexuals, so that they can ever get an existence. And it will be my legacy for years to come. It's going to help so many people, and I want to help prevent abuse as much as possible, help towards that if it's possible at all. I can't make any promises. There's just one person picks up that book and they say, oh my god, I'm actually with an abuser, what the hell am I doing? Why was I thinking I have sex with him? I need to, or her, or whatever gender, I need to get the heck out of that relationship. No, so much the better. But also it might bring more people together. It might improve people's relationships, and there might be, oh, we're really stuck, we're a sexual and an asexual person, we don't know how to make it work, read your book, and now we know how to be loving, caring, and communicate in the right way for each other, and to give each other, you know, the type of kind of physical contact we both need, but without without completely losing our identity of who we are, like a heterosexual and asexual, for example. And so I just think the book is so amazing. I'm so looking forward to getting it published. I've been stuck on a chapter for a long time, like 3 to 5 weeks now. Probably more like 5, but I'm saying 3 to be on the minimalistic side. I've been stuck on it, but while I've been having my ankle broken, I've been reading loads of research to do a specific chapter. This is the only chapter I've had loads of difficulty with, because it's a specific topic to do with something to do with relationships, attachment styles, if you must know. And I've never actually, I know roughly about it, but I don't know in depth. And now I've just learnt so much more stuff. And I felt it's good to put it in the book. You'll see why when you read it. But yeah, it's very, very interesting, and something I really need to learn loads more about for my own personal helping myself and my self-development journey. So that's been a more difficult chapter, because most of the other stuff I just know naturally. The majority, sex toys took me quite a long time to research as well, because I don't use sex toys myself. I've never used one. I have got curious since I've written the book. I'm like, oh, wonder what it's like, considering everyone else likes using these things. I don't think I'd like something in me like that, but you never know. But I'm just like, yeah, should I try? It's like, who knows? But yeah, at the moment I'm a bit like, yeah. For me personally, not for others, but they do sound quite like good fun. Some of them, actually, probably a lot better than sex. But there you go. That's my personal opinion. But yes. Anyway, moving on. So now I'm pursuing my life path. Like, even though I've got a broken ankle, because I'm focused on writing now, I'm not waking up crying like before. My emotions were so bad because I have got CPTSD. But when I'm now focused on my book publishing and writing, I've just got direction every single day. I don't even realize anymore that I'm not even scheduling stuff. I'm just knowing what to do automatically each day. It's very bizarre, because I've just noticed today, I'm like, oh, you've not been scheduling stuff. There's some stuff I do have to schedule, obviously, like I got 2 interviews with me about asexuality and various other things, but relates to my Asexual Perspectives book. So that's been, I've got 2 podcasts lined up, one for Wednesday coming up, one for following week on Monday, looking at my calendar. So I have got stuff scheduled in. Online ACE meet in my club, Asexualise Academy Club, an in-person meet on the 26th, even though I broke my ankle. So, I've got a lot of stuff that some stuff that's scheduled in, but the rest of it, I just know what to do each day now. And it's just really focusing mostly on my asexual guide to sex, building my channels up, helping asexuals more. Like, now I'm just so much focused. You wouldn't believe the difference it's made to me. Like, my emotions are very stable a lot of the time now. I'm at one with my soul. I'm at peace with my soul. I just feel very, very good. I didn't feel good last weekend when I broke my ankle, and I felt disgusted about the treatment that I received in the hospital. But now I'm starting to pursue justice for the fact I was misdiagnosed. I've started to look into that. I've started kind of a process for that. I'm not sure if it'll get anywhere, but I just feel better from taking some action. I think in your life you can just sit there moaning about something and how badly you've been treated, or you can actually get on and make a proper complaint about stuff. And that's what I'm doing, basically, And I think by doing that, I'm sticking up for myself. I feel peaceful now, because it's like, it's going to be taken care of one way or the other. Maybe I'll get some justice, maybe I won't. But just by putting in like a complaint, it's justice for me. Just for someone to recognise that I wasn't treated very well, for me to actually make a deal of it, is very good. And sometimes in life we don't make big deals about things that should be big deals. Glad you're feeling better. Oh, hi, Shy Cat. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I mean, my ankle is still very, very painful, and it's very bruised if you look at the post, but my actual mindset is really, really good. All of a sudden it's extraordinarily good. And that's the thing, when you're going through turbulent times, when you're going through pain, physical pain, this is probably going to take a long time to heal. Last time it was meant to be 6 weeks to 3 months, took 6 months because I got fibromyalgia. Might be a little bit less this time, but technically probably be a little bit more in theory, because it's a bigger break, wider break, So So yeah, but I'm feeling very good in my mind. And when you're going through turbulent times like physical pain, if your mind's a lot better, the pain won't be quite as, I don't want to say quite as bad as in it still hurts a heck of a lot, but I think it won't be as bad overall, your pain, because obviously if you've got, mind's better, then you're not focusing on your pain so much physically. And because I'm focusing on other stuff and I'm distracting my mind by focusing on positive stuff, it's really, really helping me. I'm feeling a lot stronger. And just like, just purely sticking up for myself. Like I stuck up for myself last year with something which I can't really say too much about, but I left my old job, put it that way, after a year, and that required some sticking up for myself and leaving, and that's all I can say on that. But and then I do tend to stick up for myself a lot more now. And then with the hospital, I just knew my ankle was broken, even though she said it wasn't. And obviously I got proof now it was. So yeah, it's just really, really good. But because I'm focusing on really good stuff all the time, it also does help not being involved in dating relationships anymore. So as you know, on this channel, you can look back for the whole past 5+ years, and you'll notice that I've been doing a lot of dating relationships, like pursuing a relationship for years now, doing dating stuff for years now. Got a lot of experience, got 7.5 years experience out of that. And I'm grateful for those experiences. But like now I'm not pursuing a relationship, I'm not doing dating anymore. I just feel a lot calmer as well and peaceful in that way because I'm focusing on me a lot more. I'm just focusing on enjoying my life more, focusing on my book publishing business, knowing that's the way to go. I've always envisaged myself as having lots of books out, and as me with all my books, I see it in my future, but I kept getting upset because I was nowhere near it. And even though I'm quite far off in terms of physical books and getting to where I want to go, I feel I'm closer than ever because I'm not getting anything else in my way now as such. I've got other stuff I need to deal with, but there's nothing stopping me doing book publishing now. Like basically all the people I was following before and going off on tangents, some of the people I still follow, yeah, but I'm not following them as in looking to be like them or looking to impress them or to like or for them to like try and persuade me otherwise off my path because theirs is a better path. I really don't have that. And when I mean, I've got on my Make Money Make Cash channel. I mean, I do like my Make Money Make Cash channel, I have to say. I do want to actually grow that channel because I do enjoy doing that type of content. I make some money online, not loads, but I make some, and it's real money, and it's really selling stuff like on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, and and obviously I sell books, and so it's not a ton of money, but I just think, if someone else sees videos like that and how to do it, they can replicate it for themselves and just a little bit of extra money. It's just fun, isn't it? It just makes people feel good. And so I have been doing some work on the Make Money Make Cash channel. Do subscribe if you haven't already. It's a really nice channel. It's not the same as this. This is obviously a vlog channel. That's more of a kind of like business type of creative like hobby type of channel, but online money stuff. But I do enjoy that as well. So I do want to grow that. But I know that I'm very, very sorted in my life for the next 1 or 2 years. I know what I'm doing up to the next 5 years. I kind of know every how I want to go. I'm not saying it's all going to turn out the way I want it to go, but I can see a lot more clearer path to the main thing that I want to do, and I'm just so happy and grateful for that now. I feel so good. And so even though my ankle's busted up basically, I just feel so much better. It's kind of weird though, because I can put I couldn't put any weight on it at the hospital, but I can now when it's iced up a lot. It kind of really numbs the pain. And I can put it to full, and I can sometimes like move a little bit without crutches, but it's not a good idea to do, I don't think, because it hasn't healed obviously yet. But it's weird because I was never able to do that before with the previous break. And I couldn't do that at all at the hospital a week ago. And now it's really weird. I can put it to the floor and even sometimes I forget that I haven't even got a crutch, and then I'm walking a little bit and I'm like, why are you walking? Because, and then I do notice, I'm like, oh, you got pain. I'm like, oh, where's my crutch? Oh, I forgot it and I've left it against the wall or something. And I'm like, oh. So most of the time I'm going around with crutches in my home and just got the rest of the time I've got it, my leg elevated. I've got it now elevated to this side of the camera, on a pillow. You're on a pillow at the moment. Hello, pillow. So yeah, but I just feel so good. All of a sudden I just feel so good. And I was feeling really angry last weekend with the way I was treated at the hospital, but because now I've got the x-rays through that prove that I'm right, and because I'm pursuing some sort of justice, whether I get it or not, just by pursuing it, just by doing some action, it just feels so much better. And I would urge you, like if you've got a problem with something, to take some action on it, because when we don't take action on our problems, they just fester and fester, and you don't really feel good because you're not actually sorting the problem out. You're just like leaving it, and it doesn't really help. It just makes things worse. I think it feels like you're doing an injustice to yourself as well as having an injustice done to you. And so I just think, taking some action just is good. Sticking up for yourselves, trying to see what's going to happen, is brilliant, And so, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good overall. Really good all of a sudden. I don't really know why, but I just think, like, I don't know, I'm very positive. I'm like, why are you so positive, Sam, considering all angles, bro? But like I said, for all the reasons, like I've stuck up for myself, I trusted my own intuition, I believed in myself over a medical practitioner, and I was right in the end. I'm pursuing my book publishing career. I'm still continuing my Asexual Guide to Sex. I think I'm a little bit happy as well, because I think I hopefully can finish this chapter now, because I've been trying to do some research for this chapter, but at the age it's been driving me nutty. But I think I'm nearly getting the rest of it now. There's just a little bit missing that I couldn't figure out. It just needed something else, but I think I've figured it out now because I started writing a bit earlier. So yeah, so I just feel really good. I feel really positive. I feel the world is good. I feel good things are coming my way. Good things are coming for asexuals with my books more and more. I just feel I've been posting quite a lot more on Facebook recently, and I think as well I've got quite a lot of new people who are following me on there now, and a lot of them are very, very supportive, very, very positive, including people who I didn't know before who are very positive about asexuality and stuff like that as well. And the food, I've been posting more and more about food. Well, I hate cooking, but people have been saying how good like my food looks, and they want to eat it and what's the recipe. So maybe I'll do a recipe book one day, which would be quite shocking considering I hate cooking and I've never thought about myself being a cook before. But people are like, oh, it's so yum, I keep getting so hungry when I see your food, and what's the ingredients, what's the recipe, because I really want to cook it myself. And I'm like, oh, and so it's kind of like a miracle in that way. It's like, well, I hate cooking, but obviously I can't be that bad at it if people wanting to know my recipes. So maybe I'll release a cookbook one day, because my food that I cook myself is allergen free. Like there's no wheat in it, no sugar in it, no gluten in it, no spelt in it, no lactose, no dairy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I have so many allergies and intolerances, but all that stuff's cut out of it, and it does still taste really nice. So, it's kind of good, because there's quite a few people these days that have allergies. But I don't know, like they're very positive, these people. I also video chatted with someone I have never video chatted with before. I've got a female older friend. Hello to her if she's watching, and she's in America, and we've always gotten really, really well. Like there's quite a huge age gap there. She's like different decades to me. But she's really, really beautiful person, very kind to people, and we video chatted. She offered to video chat with me, and I've never done that before with her, even though I've known her online for years, and it was amazing. She actually looks more beautiful in real life than she does in the photographs. Like her skin looks much younger, her hair looks younger, and it was just really nice to talk to her. And so that was really nice. I feel I've got some really good friends. I mean, Andy obviously was at the hospital with me all that time. He came to help me with my shopping today. I'm trying to help myself as much as possible. I don't know how I did it, but yesterday night I spent an hour and a half trying to sort my bed out because I bought a mattress topper, if you saw it. and it was half hanging off because it does overlap the bed. It's supposed to fit on the bed, but it overlaps the bed, which is a bit weird. But anyway, yesterday it was partly hanging off the bed, and I've got no one here with me to actually ask, can you sort my bed out? And I couldn't wait till today till my friend came because literally it's hanging off. I couldn't sleep. So I had to get the bed moved from the wall. Bear in mind, I got broken ankle, moved from the wall, and actually get over the bed into the gap once I moved the bed out from the wall between the, because it's very small in my flat, so between the wall and the actual bed itself, and pull all the mattress topper up, pull all the bedding over so it's all straight again. And I had a leak somehow. There was great big wet patches of water everywhere. I do not know where it came from. I know I had a leaky bottle. Well, I had a leaky bottle, but that was in the kitchen. I know I had one bottle leak, but I thought it was near here, and I cleaned all that up. So I don't understand why it was over there, because I had 2 hot water bottles, but there's no sign that the water bottles were leaking because the covers weren't wet. So I still don't get it. It was like wet on the undersheet, wet in the mattress protector. I got waterproof mattress protector though, so it doesn't go through to the mattress. So I don't know what it was about. I spent ages doing all that, but it took me an hour and a half. But of course, that's a huge achievement for someone with a broken ankle. Do you know what I mean? In the end, I had to pull the bed with my hands and hoping the mattress and base would go together because I couldn't do it the other way because it was hurting my ankle because I can't put pressure on my ankle like that. So it was kind of really weird. I had to kind of shifty and flip over the bed without damaging my ankle, take a crutch over the other side. It's very bizarre. So yeah, so that was kind of really difficult. But you know, even achieving something like that feels really good. I'm getting a lot more tired as well because I've got my ankle break. So I'm going to sleep earlier than I usually would. But maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. But you know, I'm kind of like, you know, sleeping more. I'm watching more movies, as you probably noticed again. So I feel better. I always feel better when I watch movies. I feel they're movie therapy. I feel it's very good for my mind, helps me relax a lot. So yeah, I think all these things combined that I've been discussing in this video, I just think it's helping me to feel more better and good and positive. I feel like a rush of very positive, good emotions. And like I was saying about dating relationships, I feel better now I'm not pursuing a relationship anymore. I feel a lot calmer, a lot more control of my emotions. I've got more control in my life. I don't think there's anyone worth pursuing anymore in my life romantically. Definitely friendship wise, I want to keep and maintain my friendships. My friendships are very dear to me. And you know, and I seem to like, you know, have attracted really nice people lately. And so, you know, there's some weird people or odd people or some people that aren't. You know, I had an Indian guy message me on Facebook and he said my name, so clearly he must know me from somewhere, I'm guessing, or seen my profile and checked it out, but it was in my spam. Facebook had put it in my spam. You know, because you've got your other inbox that you can't really see unless you go in there. You have to specifically go in your other inbox in case you didn't know that. So you have to go to messages, other inbox, which is for people that are not your friends. And then there was this guy in there in spam, an Indian guy. But he was messaging me, "Hi Sandra, like how are you?" Like in how are you P, which I think that means how are you please. But it's like I replied yesterday because I didn't see his message before because it went in spam. And I'm like, I don't think I know you, don't think we've met. And then he just didn't bother replying. And I'm thinking, right, fine. You know, why are you even bothering to message me and say, how are you if you don't even care? I just hate guys like that. It's just a waste of freaking time. It's like, don't waste my time. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, if that's the attitude. And I had another guy show up in my inbox who I haven't had a message from since 2020. And yeah, that was back then. I think I met him on Facebook dating. Yeah, that's right. I met on Facebook dating. I had an audio date with him, not a video date. But he's one of those people on Facebook that hides his face and literally is like, you know, is like a basically a profile silhouette. He hasn't got pictures of himself at all on there, not in any part of his profile. So clearly dodgy as anything. And anyway, like for him to show up in my life since 2020, not even bothered to speak to me. Actually, Facebook didn't know if it was spam. Facebook was like, oh, do you know this person? And was treating it like spam because usually if you message someone years ago, it still comes back as if they message you again, you've got the conversation between each other. But this time it didn't. It says, do you know this person? If you answer them, you'll be able to see each other's messages. But otherwise, basically, you know, it looked like you didn't, and that's kind of weird. So anyway, I just basically blocked him this time. I thought, there's no way I'm having a guy from 2020 coming back in my life, and he's like, oh, hi, beautiful. And I'm like, yes, I'm beautiful, but you have ignored me and haven't spoke to me since 2020. You've got nothing on your profile because clearly you're hiding. And, you know, I don't need that type of guy in my life, so I just blocked him. You know, I haven't got time for these time wasters, you know, and game players. It's just ridiculous. And I'm just really glad I'm out of that now. Dating can get very, very addictive. It really can. But now I'm pursuing my actual dream. I don't really have time that I want to dedicate to that anymore. It's like I've done my time, 7.5 years, done my time in jail, dating jail. I shouldn't say that, should I? But sometimes it feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like you're kind of trapped in an abyss of people that are unright for you and not good for you and not matched for you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like dating jail. But yeah, so I just feel better for that. I had to get it out of my system. But that's why I'm grateful to the two guys that broke my heart last year. Because at the end of the day, if they hadn't really broken my heart really badly, I wouldn't have stopped doing the dating. And I needed to stop to pursue my dreams. So everything happens for a reason. That is another way you can feel good in turbulent times. If you always remember, this is my motto, remember in your mind, everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why my ankles broke. God, I believe in God, the power of the universe, all of that. I always say, God's got a reason why he broke my ankle again. You know, there's obviously a reason for it. You know, I don't believe everything's a reason, whether it's good or bad. And I believe even something bad, something good will come of it. I always believe that, a very positive mindset like that. And so, you know, like last year, I just like, especially with the second guy, just so much pain, the most amazing, not in a good way, bad pain I've ever experienced romantically in my life for a very long time, since probably my ex in 2011. That's how bad it felt to me. And for me as a hyper romantic, I don't just stop feeling love feelings for someone. Like the guy in June, the first one, the Indian guy, I'm just pretty much starting to get over him properly now, I think, because it usually takes 8 months. I know myself well. That's another thing of how you can get through turbulent times to feel good. If you know yourself really well and you're at one with your soul and you understand yourself well, that really, really helps you. So I know that it takes me about 8 months, usually on average, to get over a guy, to stop loving him if there's no contact. If the guy came back into my life, sometimes those feelings can come back, which I don't want, you know? So anyway, the guy in June, I noticed like I'm starting to feel like, okay, the love feelings don't feel like that anymore. They don't feel intense like that anymore. I'm starting to feel like if I saw you, I'd feel more friend. Not that he is my friend because I've blocked him out of my life, but I feel more friend type of feelings. Obviously, if he came directly back in my life and started, thank you for the thumbs up, and started talking to me again, it probably would be a different story. But because he's out of my life, like now, and I don't have anything to do with him, I notice my feelings have switched. And usually, obviously, it's June. So if you think about June, it's February now. This is the 8th month. So I should really be getting over him, like, you know, over the love feelings, like next month, particularly March. I think it was the end of June, if I remember right, that we split from online seeing each other, or whatever you want to call it. I wasn't actually in a relationship with him, really, although he did asked me to be his girlfriend. Then 24 hours later, I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do long distance relationship, especially if you're not going to tell me when you're going to come over. And then he changed his mind on that. So yeah, so I think it was the end of June, so that's nearly July. So basically, you know, like July, August, September, October, November, December, well, 6 months, and then January, February. So probably like March time, I should start calming down even more. But yeah, I've noticed it switching at the moment. I don't know if it's going to stay like that. I think it is. Because that's not what I was feeling a few weeks ago. I was feeling quite intense still. But I'm hoping that it is going to go, because there's no reason for me to hold on to feelings for him anymore. He's not coming back into my life. I have to accept that, even though it's been very difficult to, because he's Indian, I guess. And also, like, I thought I was right about him being my soulmate, but I wasn't, obviously, or not in this life, or not at all. Maybe in the past, or met differently. But I've just got to understand he's not a good guy for me personally, and he was lucky that I was in his life for a period of time. He did buy my Asexual Perspectives book. He bought this one. Did actually buy an Asexual top of mine, and I think he was using it to come out to his mum as asexual, because he never even told his mum he was asexual, even though she works for LGBT plus, which is very bizarre. But anyway, so, you know, I know I'll have impacted his life in some way. He's never really going to forget me anyway. He can say or do what he likes, be with any other woman he likes. It's never going to forget someone who Bookie bought and whose top he bought, and who might have changed his life in terms of helping him to come out to his mother. You don't really forget stuff like that. It's quite life-changing. So, you know, I know that whoever he's with or whatever happens, he'll still never forget me. And that's fine, isn't it? You know, but I wish him luck. But, you know, I just want to completely detach from him, you know. But I notice I have shifted. The feelings aren't as intense anymore, and I'm hoping it just stays like that and continues, because I don't want to love guys that are no good for me. It's just a waste of time, energy, and effort. But I have to recognize myself that I do have feelings, and that I have to give myself time to get rid of them, because unlike some people go, I love you, they don't really mean it. And it's just in the moment. It's in, if that person is in contact with them, communication with them, that's not true love. If you truly love someone, just because they don't speak to you anymore, you don't stop loving them. You still carry on a lot of the time. If it's true love, you don't stop it just because they stop talking to you. If you love someone, the next day, you know, if you're off with someone else, then, you know, and you're saying I'm madly in love with you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and then all of a sudden that's gone and you never feel that way again, that's not really true love, is it? True love is when you love someone even if they're not in present, even if you can't be with them because you're not compatible, you know, and you have to eventually get over that to move on to someone else. Well, in my, you know, I don't want to be going back to dating relationships again unless the right guy happens to come up in my life and he's a really good guy, I've known him well, and I totally trust him, which I haven't found that type of person. Only as a friend have I found that. Then, you know, not relationship wise or romance wise, then, you know, I don't want to know, because to me it's just better to be friends with guys. It's too anxiety inducing for me. Get relationship anxiety, potential relationship. I don't want that in my life. I don't need any anxiety. I just need happiness, love, care for myself, my friends. You know, that's what I need. And so I'm hoping that the guy from last June, I hope that I feel the feelings are starting to fade now. So that's good. I really hope so. Because like I said, 8 months is usually, well, it's usually the minimum it takes. Sometimes I can even, it depends on how it happened. Sometimes I can even be friends with the person again, but I can't with him, because I know that I would reactivate the feelings. I'm pretty damn sure that if he came back into my life, it would reactivate some feelings in me, probably instantaneously still. I probably know that. I probably know that this guy I have to keep blocked out of my life for good. Because, you know, unless he would actually changed and was a completely different guy and actually wanted a relationship, and, you know, like, he'd be no good for me. I can't be friends with a guy like him, because I had all those love feelings from too intense, too emotional, and, you know, they would probably just come back, you know, because I don't know if I'll completely ever get rid of 100% of feelings. I hope I do, because one day, you know, I might meet the right Indian guy for me way in the future, when I've got all my career sorted out, on my own life path, done everything that I'm really happy that I want to do. I'll always be doing stuff. I don't want to retire. Like, people are going, my friend Debbie, she's like much older than me. She's in her 50s. But basically, she's gone to with her partner to retire abroad. They've moved abroad now. And her partner's like, oh yeah, you know, do this, that, and the other, and you can retire too. It's like, I don't want to retire. I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing and helping asexuals and writing books that change lives. I'd be bored, Richard. You know, like, they've gone to live in Turkey because they want to be by the sun and the beach and they love it. But I would get so bored with that life, because that's just me. I'm not a scenery person. I couldn't just sit there for hours looking at scenery. I'll be bored out of my brain. I have to do stuff all the time, create stuff all the time. That's our type of person I am, you know. Even on my deathbed, if I'm writing a book and saying this is my life ending now, they can sell it for auction and get money for charity or something, but do with it what they want, you know. I'll publish it on my behalf, you know. I just feel that's good, you know, right until the day I die, because that's my life purpose and I love it, you know. So for me, I'm always like going to be busy and bustly and doing stuff, because that's who I am. You know. And then for the second person who I loved last year, who really broke my heart, you know, I know that it's probably going to take a bit longer. I'm feeling a little bit better about that lately, but I still know it's probably going to take me longer to get over him still, because it's 8 months, and with him It's only been like 1st of November's when I split from seeing him. So that would be like November, December, January, 3 months, 3 and a bit months has passed. So I still got quite a long way to go, I think, before that's completely out of my system for good. Although I feel that's fading as well, so that's good. Long may they both fade, because neither of them are suitable for me. And hopefully they'll be better for some other girl down the line, and they'll treat them really better and be happy, because I just, yeah, I actually am really good as a single person. I'm actually really, really good as a single person. I'm very strong, very powerful, very confident, very tigerish, very princessish. And for me, being single, I actually very much empowered, very much stronger, and so, if you feel like a relationship makes you stronger, I think then that's a good thing, because a relationship should make you stronger. Like, if you're in a relationship, it shouldn't be one where you're crying and upset and in pain a lot. It should make you feel stronger. It should bring out the best in you, and you should bring out the best in each other and be there for each other, and solid and secure and committed and reliable and consistent and persistent. And that person's got your back, and that you can touch them 100% with whoever is there in their life with them, and until you get that person, it's that type of person, it's better to be single, because if you've not got trust, you've got nothing. I trust myself a lot, and the reason why I'm happy is because I trust myself more and more, because I've had a major problem with not being able to be decisive enough, not being able to trust my own decisions. It's been a result of stuff from my past childhood, where I was taught, basically, unfortunately, not to trust my own judgment, because it's likely to be wrong, basically. And that's really, really bad. I mean, if you grow up with that, and that's left untapped for years, and you don't realize that, and you go through life, and that's why it becomes difficult, because if you can't make decisions yourself, or trust yourself to make the right decisions and stick to that, and always second guess yourself, then it means you're being unstable with yourself. If you're unstable with yourself, it's very hard. And then if you put more emphasis on a relationship or other people, it kind of is unstabilizing, because you need to stabilize yourself. So I've been practicing on purpose, making decisions, making quicker decisions, and actually trusting those decisions. And I've found that the only way I'm going to get better at making decisions is by making more of them quicker, and trusting them and practicing that. It's not easy when you first start, because obviously if you've been basically brought up and lived a life where you've been made to, throughout your various experiences, been led to believe that you might be making the wrong decision at every given moment, and not to trust yourself, because there was never a reassurance like, yes, you've made a great decision, Sandra, that's really good, I'm so proud of you, I'm so happy you made that decision. That's that hasn't been really part of my life, and so I have to do that myself now. I have to do it and say yes. I have to be my own best coach. Even today, yesterday now, I did some washing up. That hurt me. I started feeling nauseous. I put my boot on for that. But I'd done some, and I was proud. I was like coaching myself, going, Sandra, now you've got to have a rest now, because really you're starting to feel really nauseous. But you've done some good stuff. Your foot's starting to swell up more, but you've done some stuff now. Now what do you need to do? Now you need to unstrap your boot. Now you need to go and get crutches. Now you need to go to the toilet. Now you need to rest a bit. Now you need to do this. And I'm talking myself through it, like being my best friend, being a nurse to myself, being an aid to myself. And so, when you actually start, trust yourself, and you practice making decisions, practice looking after yourself. So you be like your own best friend, your own carer, your own cheerleader, your own support. You just really trying to be the person that you want others to be for you, but for yourself, it really gives you a lot more strength and power, inner power, because you just be that yourself. You're like your best advocate. You're like, no, I'm not taking this rubbish. I'm doing this. This is me. I deserve this. Like, even though I'm not where I want to be money-wise with my book publishing business, it doesn't matter, because I know I'll get there because I want to get there and I believe in myself and I believe in my future. I see myself in the future with loads of books out. I see myself being really successful. I am a successful published author anyway, already, but I need to publish more books, and I will be doing some smaller books for asexuals in the future. But the Asexual Guide to Sex is the most biggest book I've ever written, longest book, and and there's a lot to it, and it's very in depth because there's a lot of people's safety involved. I'm very safety conscious. I'm a very conscientious person. I can't just put something out there without context and meaning, and for people to see the bigger picture. I just think that's very irresponsible. And I will not be irresponsible. So even though I started in June 2019, I thought it would be finished the next year. I thought I'd publish it. And, I have been disappointed at times that I haven't published it by now. But at the end of the day, like I said, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe the content in there is better than it ever was going to be. My part now, because other people finished their stories a while ago. And I just think that the book is a much more better book because it's all about relationships and sex within relationships and focusing on helping people who are asexual make a decision where they want to try or not. For the people that are thinking about doing it, not for the people who don't want to ever have sex. Don't have it. If you don't want it, don't have it. Please do not have it. It's for people who are thinking about having sex for the first time ever and they just don't know what to do. And they need help and the guidance and support. That's what the books are for. But there's a lot of relationship stuff in there now. So, even people pick the book up and they're not interested in the sex. They might be interested in a lot of the relationship stuff because it's very interesting how I've put these different things together. I find it fascinating myself. And it's a book I wished I'd had when I was 16 years old and was pressurized into having sex, basically. If I got this book, Asexual Guide to Sex, back then, and I read it all, I would be so much more knowledgeable, so much more better off than I am, more than I was. And so I just know that the book's got to be done in this certain way. It's, I think, like if you're going to have sex with someone, it should be in a loving, caring, committed relationship with a healthy individual who's going to be good for you. And unless I put the stuff in the book that actually shows people, indicates to people what a good relationship looks like versus a bad relationship, how the hell are you going to know it? If a 16 or 18-year-old reads my book, how are they going to know all this stuff? They don't have the life experience, usually. I had a lot of relationship experience by the time I was 18, but most of it wasn't good. And so, I just think, I'm really happy with the way it's gone and I've been doing it. I have a good feeling about this book. I have a good feeling about all the books coming up. There's another asexual, another asexual book I thought about like yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. And I put it down. Like I put everything in this journal to do with writing a lot of the time now, as I got a book for it. And I thought of another book because someone asked me a question on my website, and I'm like, and I googled it, and it's a lot of question. It's a question that a lot of people who are asexual ask, who are new to asexuality, should I say, ask. And so I'm like, I can do a book about that because that'll be a good one. I'm not going to reveal that at the moment. I've got quite a lot of books I want to do for asexuals, but after Asexual Guide to Sex, there's another book that I'm going to get on and do for asexuals after that because I got people wanting to be in it and buy the other third book for asexuals I haven't even written yet. But Asexual Guide to Sex is my main priority. Once I've eventually finished it, I've still got work to do on it. I've still got this chapter to finish. I've got another chapter I need to do. I've got 3 other bits I need to do, and 1 bit I need to add to something. That point doesn't make much sense to you, but then I need to do quite a lot of editing my part, and still I've done quite a bit already as I've gone along, but I need to do more, and then I need to shift some I need to do formatting and stuff like that. So, but yeah, but now I'm on track with everything I want to do. Now I'm at peace and at one with my soul. I'm no longer having these emotional ups and downs all the time. I used to wake up crying nearly every day. And, I think a large part of that was like a lot of trauma that I've been through, obviously, but also is I wasn't living my life purpose. I mean, for years, I would just sit there bursting into tears when I watched seminars. And it's like, oh, what's your dream? And, if you had your dream, what would it feel like? And now it's like I'm living my dream. Like I'm on the path to success, more success and happiness. And I'm just like living my book publishing dreams. So I'm in Facebook groups now, learning all about book publishing more and more and connecting with more and more people that are like-minded. And it's just so good. So I would urge you that if you're, if you're having some down, times where you're not feeling so good, follow your passions, follow what make you feel good. Get into groups of people on Facebook, not groups that you're just invited to and people tell you to join, but ones that you genuinely want to do. And even if you want to pursue something, you think it's kind of crazy and, you know, you might not have much success in it, but you want to pursue it and you think it's something that you should definitely do and it's in your being and it's intuitively you feel you should do it, but you're trying to push against it, don't push against it. Do not push against it. I've done that for years. Lean into it and say, right, okay, I'm just going to have faith and trust in myself that everything will work out okay and that I'll just go for it. That's what I want you to do, because that's what I'm doing now. Since I have made the shift of like, no, I'm going for this. Doesn't matter what happens, I'm going for it because I believe in myself 100%. I believe I can make it happen one way or the other. I am so determined to make my book publishing company a huge success that I will definitely make it now, because I know 100% I can write anything, or, you know, if I need to. And so there is no limits to what I can do. No limits. And so therefore the only limitation is myself, and there is no limits on me anymore because I don't put any limitations on myself anymore. So I just feel so good. And when I'm in these book groups, these ones that are like actually, you know, where people are making money writing books, and some are beginners obviously, you know, because I can see other people that have had huge success and I'm actually pursuing my passion. I'm actually in groups now that I'm really passionate about, that I'm really involved in, that I really love. By reading that constantly and reading people have published this book, this is how many sales this book's gone and got, this is how many books this person's got, this is how many sales they've got, just wanting to share their, you know, successes. It just boosts your confidence and self-esteem in yourself, and it motivates you. He just knows that, you know, if they can do it, I can do it. And I'm on the right path more than a lot of them, because obviously I've got Asexualise as a brand. Some of them don't have any brands. I say it's a brand because obviously it's a, you know, like Asexualise is like, well, it is a brand, even though it's actually I'm asexual. You know what I mean? It's kind of a built up a brand. I've built up a community, I should say, and you know, and it's just kind of like, you know, I've built up an audience, if you like. You know, and a lot of people, you know, I've got people who actually want to buy my books, whereas some of those people that just dine out, they don't have an audience, they haven't even thought about the audience and who the book's for, or if they've got anyone that wants to buy a book, or if they've got anything useful to say. A lot of them are publishing low content stuff as well, so they publish like journals and stuff. There's nothing wrong in that, but you know what I mean? Like, I like to publish non-fiction books predominantly that change people's lives. So my books actually help people to change lives, and I just know that, you know, I can change more lives the more books I write. So I'm really looking forward to it. The next book for Asexuals after Asexual Guide is going to be a much shorter book, because I know what it's going to be about, but it's not going to be like all the like in here is full of advice, asexual perspectives. Asexual Guide to Sex is full of advice as well. But the one afterwards, it will have advice in it, but there won't be so much. It'll be, the third one will be more story based, to put it that way. I'm not going to reveal everything now, but yeah, you know, the first things first is I finish the book I'm on, which I know is going to take me still a while to do, but I know that I'm going to be finishing it. I can see it now happening, and I just feel, you know, so much better. I've got a lot of support these days. I think that really does help, as well as supporting yourself more. And I just feel better that the more decisions I make, the more I'm not following what other people want me to do, the more I'm living my life purpose, the more I'm following my passions. My soul is always at one with myself. The more I do stuff to do with writing, the more I think about writing, the more I think about building a book publishing business. It's just so like I'm me again now. I'm whole again. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no hole in my soul. I'm with my soul. I'm here. Sandra's here with herself. I'm here. I'm whole. It's very good. Very therapeutic. Um, you know, I feel a lot more calmer lately as well. You know, even though I didn't in the hospital, but you know, I just feel very grateful as well. I'm like, wow, you've got a nice home here. You've got beautiful friends. You got people who are coming on Facebook, like who are following you and friending you, who are really friendly and nice and really encouraging. They, you know, and they're really sweet. They're very interactive as well, which is really nice. I just feel much more positive, you know, and I would urge you, like, to go through this video if you have missed a lot and listen to all the things I say that I do that's really helped me in my life, and try and apply them to yours, you know, like trusting yourself more. I think, honestly think there's a lot of people, not just me, that are taught not to trust themselves, Because obviously when we grow up, we're relying on people like obviously our parents or other caregivers, we're relying on teachers throughout much of our life, school, college, university. We're relying on a lot of other people to give us advice, tell us what to do, careers advice, for example, CV advice. We're always looking for other advice. And it is good to still get advice and learn from other people. But when you're totally relying on other people to direct you in your life, this is when you end up feeling helpless yourself, and you end up feeling like kind of like you don't know what to do on your own because you're so used to other people making decisions for you. Or maybe they just don't really make any decision, they just push you from pillar to post, and they just make you doubt yourself, you know, like a bit like you know, one of those pinball machines, do you remember them back in the day? And they're known as retro machines now. And you had a pinball, and the pinball was going ping, 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 ping. Well, if you think about that, and then you think about like your decision making, like maybe in your life you've had people going, oh, do this, do that, do the other, do this, do that, do that. And you're not actually really focusing on yourself and trusting yourself. You're just pinged from pillar to post. And in the end, you get so confused. You're like, what the hell do I do? And, you know, you've got no clear structural path. Now it's like I'm carving my, you know, well, it's like completely like I was snowed in and I've uncovered all this snow. And it's like I was in a daze before. I feel like I was in a daze for years when I was just following what people told me to follow, because, you know, it's like, oh, you're not doing this, you're not making shed loads of money, so you're not successful, blah, blah. It's like, I don't measure success in terms of tons of money. And if you're focusing on a million different things at once and you don't even, you know, and you're following what other people want you to do, it's not going to work. Because I mean, I had one guy telling me he's a really wealthy guy and entrepreneur. I've been friends with him for a long time on Facebook, even before he got really famous. I knew of him, and you know, and he was giving me some advice. He was saying, oh, where there's a will, there's a way. And I was thinking, but I don't have a will for this type of thing you're telling me to do, which is, you know, what I should be doing, because I have no interest in that thing. There's no point in pursuing something unless you're passionate about it. I can't do stuff for money, just for money, because I ain't motivated by money, to be quite frank with you. It'd probably be better if I was. I'd probably have shed loads of money by now. But you know, like I do like money. I do think it's a good thing to have. My third motivation for doing something is money. But my first primarily is a sense of responsibility. A second is achievement. Third is money. You know, because money doesn't motivate me. Obviously, you have to have money, though, to feed yourself, to have rent, you know, pay bills, especially if you live on your own like I do. So I can't say I'm not motivated by money at all, because that would be a bit ridiculous, but it'd probably be more kind of accurate in the sense that it doesn't, you know, I'm not that. But I do like selling stuff. I like selling physical products, for example. I do get a buzz out of that. I get a buzz out of making customers happy. I get a buzz out of selling something and know it's going to a good owner and stuff like that. I wish what I do in my Make Money Make Cash channel. Don't forget to subscribe to Make Money Make Cash channels. Where's this channel? If you're into making a bit of money online. You know, so I just love my life now, you know. And I just wanted to share all this with you, because I think subconsciously we don't realise that we're being trained to listen to everyone else but ourselves. And we're trained, you know, we've been trained to doubt ourselves. We're being trained that there's something wrong with us all the time, so that we have to improve ourselves and change to what other people want us to be. When actually, if we stick to the core of who we are and we go back to the core purpose and part of our soul and being, and we really know the answers in ourselves, we really know what's best for us, but we're so led by society and other people all the time, even subconsciously, that it's hard. It's like we are in a daze or a trance. It's really weird. I remember some taxi driver once said about me when I said I'm asexual. He goes, "Oh, you're in a trance," and I'm like, "Oh, well, you're in a trance then, because you're heterosexual." Didn't like that very much, so I don't usually use the word trance, but I do feel like I've been in a daze for years, like I've just been in this daze, and when really all I wanted to do is follow my own book publishing business, but it's just because people go, "Oh, you can't do it. You're not making loads of money." Blah blah blah. It's like, well, I'm not making loads of money because, you know, one is I'm not motivated by money, but two is I'm so busy listening to everyone else telling me I can't do this, that, and the other, then it's distracting me from actually doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, now I just don't listen. I'm like, whatever. I don't care what you think anymore. I couldn't give a toss. You know, I'm happy. I'm following my dreams. You know, I'm where I need to be in life. I'm now pursuing things. A quick right now I know where I'm pursuing. Once you know what you're doing and you've got focus and clarity and direction, those three things help you to be happy. Because even though I've broken my ankle and that was a different direction physically than what I wanted to go in at the time and thought I was going to go in, I've actually, you know, like got clarity, direction, and purpose, know exactly what I'm doing in the other aspects of my life. So because I know what I'm doing in the other aspects of my life, it doesn't really matter so much because it's like, well, I can still carry on doing the other things as much as possible. I can't do as much work anymore because I can't be sat on my Mac for hours. So that's been difficult. But I've been doing research on Google and going to like different YouTube videos and different articles, medical articles and psychologist articles and all that type of stuff. So, you know, I've been still doing stuff, but not as much work. But I guess, you know, it's kind of like relaxed me more and stuff. So I'm just really happy right now. I wanted to share this with you because, you know, I think, you know, like I have posted quite a lot of posts about my ankle recently. You might think like everything's all doom and gloom, but it's not. You know, everything happens for a reason. Whilst my ankle's recovering, it means that I can relax more in some ways, you know, because I have to give myself rest. I thought it forces me to rest more, forces me to look after myself better, forces me to chill out with movies more and work less. And, you know, it means that I'm very focused on more, you know, specific things. You know, because I can't be focusing on everything because I'm too poorly in my ankle, you know. But my mind stays better. And so when your mind is positive, it's in a good state, it's really good. Your physicality, you know, doesn't matter as much because that will feel better automatically or less stressful because your mind's better, you know? Because mind and, well, you know, if you're bad in your mind, your physical pain will be so much worse. But because my mind's not better at the moment, my physical pain is bad, but it's not as bad as it could be, I guess. So yeah, anyway, I hope this video has helped you somewhat. I hope, you know, that you understand now, like, you need to practice loving yourself, pursuing your own life path, life purpose and journey, listening to your intuition above everything else and everyone else's opinions, practice making decisions, better decisions, quicker decisions, and understanding there are no failures in life, just lessons you learn from. You can never fail. Just follow what's in your heart and soul. Even if you don't know the outcome, just go with it. Because if not, you'll regret it. And a life full of regret is basically a life half lived. So it's much better to just go out there, do it, because then you can say, I've done it. And if it doesn't work out, at least you try. But if you don't try, then, you know, your dream dies inside you. And I just know that people are making money with books. I can see it. It's one of the best ways to make money online is writing books. And I just know that's my life purpose and I love it. I don't do it for the money. First and foremost, I do it because I want to leave a lasting legacy. When I'm not here anymore in this planet Earth, my books will live on for years to come. And I'll still help save lives. That's my most important thing. Especially help asexuals, you know? And so that's the most important thing to me. And I just feel so good. Like my heart and soul's completely at one now. I just don't do anything else. And I just focus on what I want to do. At the end of the day, I'm answerable to myself. If things go wrong, things go wrong. But I don't believe they're going to go wrong. I believe they're just going to keep getting better and better because I've seen that I'm on the right life path. I've seen that I've got people who want to buy my books. I've got to see books that I can write. I can write so many books because I've got so many life experiences. And I just know I can get better and better at writing and publishing. And I can just be so good. And I just believe in myself and I just trust myself. I'm making quicker decisions more and I feel more calmer. I just really do. Anyway, I wanted to share this goodness and happiness with you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, as always, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with anyone you feel may benefit from it. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now, I post a new video. Thank you so much for being in chat. You know, so yeah, you know, shy cat, sorry, glad you're feeling better, they said earlier. So thank you to you for joining in. There's been some other people watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you lots, and I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Bye. Lots of love. Bye.